This is the Impulsive Thinker podcast, a show for high-achieving ADHD entrepreneurs. Together, we will inform and educate you about how to improve your self-awareness while developing systems, routines, and habits for conquering the entrepreneurial world. Here is your host, André Brisson.
Hey there, it's André, the Impulsive Thinker, and this week we were talking to Josh Martin, former NFL player, and we were discussing his transition from professional football life to entrepreneurial. And the one thing he said in that discussion that really piqued my interest was players are their own business on the field and in the locker room. And I thought that was very interesting. And after the conversation offline, we discussed that a little more in detail. And I think there's two meanings to that statement. I believe what I understood was that professional players, they have to run themselves as a business in a collaborative way on a project, or in their case, the project is their team to win games and to win the Super Bowl. And if they don't add value to the project/team, then they're out. It's no different than an entrepreneurial company where if you're not providing value to your customer, they're not going to come back. And the other thing I got out of it is that each player are their own brand. And let's think about that one a little more. I just went through the process of getting a brand statement as the Impulsive Thinker and that whole process. And I decided to do this because I wanted to do a better job with the podcast. I want to get out there and start speaking more, to share my story and just give people motivation and the assurance that they can do whatever they want to do and not to be ashamed of their unique selves. And I think I did that too late, because talking with some other entrepreneurial buddies, we've been talking about brand a lot. And the one friend was actually saying, apparently based on what I said earlier, that this is after 40 years of him with his accounting firm, that he never realized that his brand is continuing on even though he no longer owns the company. Customers are still going to him, but it's because of his brand. And I think in all the silly books and theories and all that, and branding, because I think branding is underrated and not fully understood. As entrepreneurs, we're taught you need to work on your brand when you actually want to get out there, put yourself there, be on the speaker circuit, get your books out a lot later in your entrepreneurial journey. And I think the message should be and is that, or actually the reality is the better term for it, is that it actually starts with your first contract or project or engagement as an entrepreneur when you started your company. Your brand started then. They hired you, not you personally, because they probably don't know you personally, but they bought the brand of you, which is, to me, I believe, well, this is how I understand a brand, is how I portray and act my values, how I behave, and what my drive is, and in a way is what's my purpose. That's the brand, and how do I communicate all that stuff, and how do I pursue it? So the other thing I learned a little bit later is we're also taught, I think this is a corporate mindset or just a business owner mindset, not an entrepreneurial mindset, but we're all taught that the company is the people and it's the client. But in reality, an entrepreneurial company started by you, especially if it's a startup, is actually the company is you. You're selling yourself. You're selling your brand to your clients. The company name is just the name they write the check to. But it's the brand that they're falling in love with and want to recur business with you. So in a way, the company is you, you are the company, and that's the brand. And that is what is referred, not your company, but your brand. That's why people keep giving you recurring income is because of your brand. Sorry, not a grand. Grand is nice, but your brand. So again, your company is you, and it's your brand. And I wish I would have known this very early in my career as an entrepreneur, because I think I would have got a better understanding of how to communicate, to behave, and probably would have been a better salesperson, because I would have had this understanding of my brand, my values, my behavior, how to behave to respect my brand and to communicate the brand, which would have done a way better job at selling the company or services. And I think I would have been able to use that at a greater advantage. And we are waiting too late to work on our brand, which is after 15, 20 years of being in your company or starting a bunch of companies, then deciding to go on the speaker circuit, then deciding to start writing books or blogging, then we're going to work on our brand. I don't know about you, but the people who've worked on brands, or even the people who works on brand statements for other clients, how much of the brand is brand new? Has their brand statement pretty much been the same the whole time, and now they just have it in a word that's in front of them and with clarity? Or did people actually modify or change their brands? I know some has, because they're maybe not, just getting better clarity, or they want to change the way they're perceived. I'm not talking about those, but just the people that just went, hey, this is my brand statement, really cool. Like for me was, yeah, that's cool, that's me. But now I'm reflecting back that I was always that way. Now, I never believed it. I never had the confidence to take ownership of that, but I was always that. I just didn't use it effectively and productively at a lot of times, especially when I was triggered in my undiagnosed days. So with this one, I guess, when Josh said that players are their own business, I went straight to brand. Each player is a brand, and branding is very important as an entrepreneur, but it starts when we first start the company. It's our reputation. It's what we're known for. The company gets known for the startup entrepreneur. So what I'm also saying is it's not too late to look at yourself, your brand. Your brand focus follows you even after you sell your company. So just like my buddy there from the accounting firm, he's been out of it for a year, but clients from that company are still looking for him for advice for certain things, not for accounting stuff, but certain things that was all related to his brand, because that's what they relied on him for. And they were relying on the brand, not on the company name. And if you're starting out your company, or you've only been there for a few years, or even 15 years now, and you have no intentions right now to get on the speaker circuit or do books, I recommend that you just get a branding book, or maybe go talk to someone who has an idea, and it just sets your brand statement, just gets you to look at your values, your behavior, and what you want to do with the brand. Like for me, my first engineering company was about how to change engineering is done in the field. So I had to have had certain behavior, I had to have certain values, I had a certain purpose for that. And if I would have put that in the brand statement, that would have been kind of a good company direction for the team members. I can share that with clients, then they could have better referred us. And even though that statement is for my engineering company, it's not much different than for my tactical breakthroughs or for the purpose of this podcast. It's still changing how things are done. So if I had that clarity when I started in 2007, I may have been in a different position, but if anything, I would have been a lot clearer, better decision-making on clients, better decision-making on team members, and project selection. So thanks again for listening. Let me know what you think about this episode, and we'll talk to you soon. Hey, it's me. Is your workspace overwhelming, full of distractions, hard to focus? Some people call it a mess. Well, I can help. Go to tacticalbts.com/ADHD Safe Workspace and learn about my new course, the ADHD Safe Workspace. where I will help you regain control of your workspace and reduce your overwhelm and increase your focus. Again, tacticalbts.com/ADHD safe workspace. Check it out.
Thank you for listening to the Impulsive Thinker podcast. If you have a question, comment, or suggestion for the show, please visit theimpulsivethinker.com. The Impulsive Thinker podcast is produced by Tactical Breakthroughs and hosted by André Brisson. Remember, ADHD is only a part of you, not all of you.